NewType is a fast and reliable source of Gunpla paints and tools shipped internationally. Purchasing with my affiliate link newtype.us/FrostedSnow also helps support me with a small commission. In the previous episode of this Airbrush Basics series, you learned how to use your airbrush. Now I'll show you how to clean your airbrush when you change paints, after painting, spot clean for specific problems, deep clean for maintenance, including how to use the sonic cleaner. Let's start with a simple clean for paint changes. Before I do any painting, I usually run some thinner through my airbrush to see if there's any problems. I also plan the order I paint in to minimize cleanup. For example, if these are the colors I have to paint today, I'll go from yellow, blue, black to metallic, lights to dark, opaque to metallics. Let's do blue and black today. When doing a simple clean for a color change, I fill the cup with some thinner, loosen the nozzle, and pull the trigger to backwash. Notice the intensity can be adjusted with the air valve control on my particular airbrush. Pour out the thinner, and I could stop here because the cup is already pretty clean. If not, you can wipe the cup down with some dust-resistant tissue. Close the nozzle, spray out the leftover thinner, and repeat this if necessary. How about a more thorough cleaning after painting? After using metallic paints, which can leave a lot of pigment, or before you do a clear top coat, you may want to thoroughly clean your airbrush to avoid residue paint. You definitely want to give your airbrush a good clean after you're done painting for the day as well. I've been lazy and only did a simple clean, which usually gives me problems the next day. The difference starts here, where you may see some buildup paint at the bottom of the color cup. I usually clean this out with an old brush with bristles that can fit through the airway. Then, with the nozzle loosened over a used thinner bottle, I disassemble the airbrush to pump the needle and run the leftover thinner through. I like getting some thinner on the nozzle too, but you can take it off and run more thinner until it comes out clear. Wipe the needle off and slide it back into the airbrush. Never press. Always just guide it into place. It should fall in easily. If not, something is out of place and you may need to reassemble your airbrush. If you ever slightly bend your needle, you can straighten it out again on a hard surface. I've done that. Clean out the nozzles with the wet and dry side of a Q-tip and wipe down the airbrush. Nice and clean. Now let's consider spot cleaning for some common airbrush problems and a deep clean with disassembly. Sometimes, if you paint for long hours or didn't clean your airbrush properly, you can get all kinds of problems. Watch my paint spit here. It's because the paint has built up inside the nozzle, so I clean it out with a Q-tip and some thinner. Luckily, it was easy to clean up the enamel wash. After experience with an airbrush, you'll usually know what the problem is and just spot clean to solve it. Commonly, it's in the nozzle, color cup, trigger, or needle, sometimes your air valve control. Laziness has taught me to identify what's what because I usually spot clean until I fix the problem. However, if you can't find the culprit or are just diligent with maintenance, you can disassemble your whole airbrush for a deep clean. This is about as far as I go. I clean the inner parts in thinner with a brush. Remember, I use factory grade thinner shared in episode 1 for all my airbrush cleaning, but you can use hobby airbrush cleaner as well. See all the residue? I also clean my brush and with it, the inside of the airbrush where the trigger fits into. A lot more paint ends up there than you think. I use a Q-tip for some extra cleanup. I deep clean my airbrush as I feel the need to and don't follow any set time frames. To avoid a sticky trigger from paint buildup, you can use some kind of oil or grease. We ourselves are still looking for the best product. I grease the upper part of the trigger and let the oil drip down. Make sure the part with the dimple faces the back and fit it back into the little hole. It might take a few tries. Cookie prefers the silicone grease, but I find it too thick and sticky and prefer the lighter oil instead, though it wears off faster. Unfortunately, we don't have the original package for that, and Cookie only remembers it's a non-hobby mechanical oil product. Put the airbrush back together and make sure you turn this part really tight. Double check the trigger is working smoothly before finishing your assembly. Sometimes the trigger lock on my particular airbrush turns out of place and needs to be released. All done. Finally, when you really want to clean out the insides of your airbrush, you can use an ultrasonic cleaner. Ultrasonic cleaners can be used to mix your paints or clean Gunpla parts and your airbrush. You don't have to have one, and I didn't the first few years of using my airbrush because it is a bit of an investment. However, it does give you a really good internal cleaning. Turn on the main power switch. Ours has a knob for temperature, which you don't have to use, and time about 2 to 10 minutes depending on how dirty your airbrush is. Notice you must fill the tank with some kind of liquid. Don't use it dry. Fill the tank with water and take the airbrush apart to what I showed previously. Cookie says it's not recommended to take apart the Mr. Hobby airbrush we use any further than that because it's easy for the rubber band in the airbrush to loosen after disassembly. He places it in a jar filled with factory thinner, leaving the two ends of the airbrush exposed to avoid melting the rubber band inside. It's not a big deal if thinner touches it or gets in a bit, but you don't want to soak it. You can include any of the other inner parts if it's dirty. Here, Cookie's got the nozzle in there too. Again, we do this just whenever we feel it's necessary. Now that you know how to clean your airbrush, we can finally get on to touching an actual Gunpla kit. Yay! In the next episode, I will show you how to get your Gunpla parts cleaned, organized, and ready for a smooth and easy painting process. Watch out for it. Cafe time. Hi, Cookie.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Hi everyone.
Yeah.
Enjoy today.
Cookie가 you have too many fans on YouTube. 그래서 보고 싶었다고 팬들은 왜 저번 They want to know why you didn't come in the video.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Where is the snow?
Yeah.
Take off me.
Take off. I didn't take off you.
Get out me.
No, I didn't do that.
God.
No,
I'm
that's not
sad.
true. No. We're having our coffee time. I'm filming this on my phone because people keep asking where Cookie is. So here he is. Cookie likes a sweet.
Hmm?
I like bitter.
Okay. Wow. This very wide screen.
Oh yeah, it's my new phone, guys.
Oh my God. Oh, amazing.
That's how we can film the vlog.
Oh, okay. This incredible.
좋아, 좋아, 좋아.
와, 엄청 이쁘게 나온다 여기. Enjoy today.
Enjoy today. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. I'd like to thank my Patreon supporters who allow me to spend more time to build, paint, and produce videos while not having to worry about making a living at the same time. Patreon is a way for anyone to support their favorite creator and content. You can also join us on Discord to chat with me and fellow Gunpla hobbyists. Check it out at patreon.com/FrostedSnow. Thanks for watching!